Itorah is a metroidvania made by the German GRIMBART Tales developer team last year, and this game is already a rough gem. So I give it an 8.5, so a solid buy. I definitely recommend this game, but it kind of missed the mark with a little bit of adding some spice to become one of the best metroidvanias ever created. So therefore, potential missed in my part, and then in the last part you will know and understand why that is. But let's start off with the overall story and presentation. So basically you explore the world as the last human, as a girl or as a guy, I'm not sure, kind of looks androgynous, so it could be both. And then you have to fight the blight, the black goo thing, which is threatening the world. So you got kind of a background story, and you basically just absorb powers in this really interesting Central America world with a linear story and a very linear progression. And here we come to the best part, which is graphics and sound, but especially graphics. I need to stress this. The overall presentation is a labor of love. And I don't say that lightly, because I've seen tons of games, but every inch is being a visual spectacle to behold. Whoever did the graphics, animations and visual effects, I salute to your flawless creative work. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. No doubt about that. I love it from the start to the end. It's beautiful. Music and sound effects are also a pleasant background noise and complement the game from finish to the end, and actually never disappoint or actually felt off. So there was never any case of that. So this is once again a work of perfectionist. So this is, I guess, maybe a German trait. So nothing was that actually stuck out, but it was still on a high quality level. So once again, excellent work in this department. And then let's go to the second part, which is basically the gameplay. How does the game feel? Well, platforming and combat is fluid and always fair, and a little bit too fair, to be honest. So stakes are never high. Rarely had any issues with frustrating puzzles, unfair jumps or hard enemies. All was a decent constant flow of getting in a new beautiful area. So basically, how does the game flow look like? Well, you just go into a new area, plunder all the chests, explore all the side areas on your map, and then eventually get a new ability, beat the boss, and off to the next area, and repeat the whole cycle anew until, well, you come to the last area and beat the final boss. Between that, there are a few cutscenes explaining a little bit what's actually happening, but the story actually never grasped, but still very professionally made. And then let's go to the last point, which is a little bit gripe from my side, and hopefully the developers will understand why I say this, because I would love the game to be successful. There are just a few points why that is. So the first thing, which is a little bit off, is the progression. The enemy, the boss design is very straightforward. It is very simple, even so to say. So therefore, you never actually have anything like some super unfair or hard bosses, which are just throwing you off and giving you the, well, masochistic satisfaction at some point. You just beat it and you're like, yes, I did it. That you never have in this game. So basically you just jump from one area to the other area, and that's it. You at some point sadly forget it. This is a shame, to be honest. And the upgrades, well, you just got health, stamina and healing capabilities. That's pretty much it. For those, you have 2 materials which you have to collect, and the third one, which is just, I don't know, coins and gems, or you can call it experience. It doesn't really matter. You just collect that stuff, and then boom, with that you can just upgrade once again just your health, your stamina and your healing capabilities. Super bare bones. And once again, for healing and having more health, it's not too exciting, to be honest, because I never actually felt in any danger with boss fights, and normally after 1 or 2 attempts, or most of the time just after the first attempt, I beat the boss or whoever, and that was pretty much it. And then one of the biggest gripes which I'm having here, and this is preventing the game from being, well, a 9 out of 10 or even a 10 out of 10, there's nothing extra unique to find. No secret bosses, no optional hardened levels, no side quests, no hard enemies that you may want to fight later on. This is a thing which you, for example, see in Dark Souls games, Red Phantoms. You, at the first try, you maybe go to them and they pretty much beat you up, and then later on you come empowered and then you beat them out. So this is a thing which a lot of games do. They just taunt you with something shiny, where maybe you cannot get to it right now, or maybe a boss you cannot beat right now, but later on you can do. So you just memorize those things. Nothing of that thought is in this game. And for example, the game doesn't have any, let's say, light customization. Besides the health, stamina and healing capabilities, you don't have any rings, any upgrades, anything which is kind of customizing, and you're just saying, okay, maybe I'm getting a flame attack, or maybe I'm getting a double jump or something like this, which is giving the game a little bit of flavor. There's nothing of that sort. So once again, everything is a standard experience in this regard, and all effects and the world design never actually reflect areas with sub-stories. So what do I mean by that? So let's say you played the Fallout games and you just go in an area and then you see some little clues which tell a story in itself, which is just a subplot. These things could be incorporated into actually this game also, just telling the story why, for example, you're just the last human, or what's actually happening to, I don't know, an explorer from the village who went out and never returned. Nothing of that sort. These little things give spice to the world, and they are not present in this beautifully crafted game, but they don't appear. So nothing is there. You just go, you beat the boss, you just go out and you're like, oh, that was nice, but that's it. And then if the German team decides to make the next game, please do that, because the potential is there, the foundation is there. Invest in some game design where all those things which I mentioned before could be incorporated, and then you could actually be on par with Hollow Knight and all the other ones on the high limb of best metroidvania games. So what I'm just saying here, the potential is there. Just add some spice to it. And therefore, I personally, and this is my opinion, I personally don't understand why they wasted this labor of love, which I truly see that it is, only to have the good standard experience. Everything is running flawless, you got the standard abilities, you got the standard going from here to there, and then you just beat it, but then you forget it. Why waste this potential? Because once again, I love the graphics. This is just wow. This was just wowing me from the beginning to the end. So don't understand why the Germans didn't do that. So therefore, my final result is this is only an 8.5. So once again, this is actually very high, but still, I really dig the game. So for me, excellent presentation, decent platforming and fighting. I recommend the game, and it personally pains me, and I've seen the Steam spy how many sales they were having, and they are below 20,000. So this is, for such a quality product, too much, to be honest. So sadly, I wish the best for their development team. Just incorporate a little bit more of game design in there, and then your next game, and hopefully maybe the second part, will be a real banger, and everybody will enjoy the game, and you can just prize yourself being and created one of the best Metroidvanias ever created. Alright, this was it from my side. Hopefully you enjoyed this review, and if you got some comments or you're thinking like, hey, I was off or spot on, just share that in the comments, because I like to have some feedback concerning my reviews and actually this pretty decent game. Have a good one. One up indie.